The fog had begun rolling down the slopes of the Appalachian Mountains hours before sunset, turning the forest into a sea of moving gray. I remember that day with a clarity that still makes my breath hitch, the air heavy, the trees whispering like they had secrets to spill. My name is Claire, and I grew up near the Carolina stretch of the Appalachians. I thought I knew these woods. I thought everyone who lived here did. But the old families always said the land remembers, and sometimes if the land chooses, it shows you what it remembers. I never believed in the mountain spirits, what the elders called the Watchers, not until the night I met them. It started with a story from my grandmother. She told me that when she was young, she could hear things in the forest calling her name. Not voices, something older. She said the mountain wasn't just land, wasn't just rock and soil. She said it was alive. But she never spoke about it lightly. Her eyes always shifted to the windows, like something might be listening. When she died, she left me her journal. Most of it was family recipes and little notes, until the last entry dated 1964, the handwriting shaky. The spirits are restless again. Someone disturbed their sleeping grounds. They will come looking. I didn't understand it then. I wish I had. Last autumn, I returned home after 12 years away, needing quiet after a brutal breakup and a job that ate my sanity. The house sat on the edge of the forest, with an old trail leading straight up into the mountains where my ancestors once lived. My first night back, I heard something moving outside. Not an animal, not footsteps. Something like a breath, long, deep, exhaling across the trees. The wind wasn't blowing that night. 2 days later, I hiked up toward the old family cemetery. The leaves were turning orange and gold, crunching under my boots. For the first hour, nothing felt strange. But as I climbed higher, the forest went silent in that way that makes your stomach flip. No birds, no insects. Even the breeze died. I felt watched, not by one thing, but by dozens. The deeper I walked, the heavier the air felt, like I was wading through invisible water. On the ridge, I found it. A circle of stones that hadn't been there before, arranged around a shallow pit. Ashes were scattered in the center, fresh. Someone had made a fire recently. Strange little carvings hung from branches overhead, made from twigs tied together with rough fibers. Symbols. Old ones. The kind my grandmother once carved into the porch would so the unwanted spirits wouldn't follow her inside. I turned to leave, my instinct screaming, but something soft brushed my shoulder. I spun, heart in my throat. No one, nothing, but my grandmother's tree, the tall, twisted oak she claimed held the spirit of the mountain, was warm to the touch. That night, everything changed. I woke to tapping on my bedroom window. Soft, repetitive. I sat up slowly. The tapping stopped. A second later, something whispered my name, not outside, but inside my room. I froze. My breath stuck in my lungs. The voice was thin, almost childlike, but layered with something older beneath it, like two people speaking at once. Claire, it breathed. My lamp flickered. The shadows in the corner stretched unnaturally long across the wall. When I reached for my phone, it buzzed violently and powered off. Then 3 knocks from the closet. Every horror instinct, I had screamed to run, but my legs wouldn't listen. I forced myself to whisper, "Who's there?" My voice trembled. The answer came instantly. "We remember you." The closet door creaked open. Darkness inside, deeper than anything the small room could logically contain. And from that darkness, glowing eyes. Not human, not animal. Pale blue, floating like embers. I bolted. Outside, the fog had returned, thicker than before, and it moved like a living thing, swirling around the house. Something followed me to the porch. I heard its steps, soft but fast, like bare feet on old wood. When I reached the edge of the yard, the fog pulled back as if clearing a path. I don't know why I followed it, but something compelled me forward, like a hand pushing between my shoulder blades. The path led to the base of the ridge, and that's where I saw them. Shapes standing between the trees, tall, thin, drifting slightly as if the air couldn't fully hold them. Their forms flickered between human and something else, something stretched. Their limbs were too long, their heads tilted too far. And yet, I could see faces. Many faces. Some old, some young. Some I recognized from old family photos. Others were strangers from stories passed down through generations. The mountain spirits. They didn't speak with mouths. Their voices echoed directly in my mind, soft as wind but sharp as needles. You touched our resting ground, they whispered. You felt the warm tree. You woke the old memory. Now, we seek balance. I tried to run, but the forest shifted around me. Trees bending, roots moving under the soil like veins. The ground pulsed. The shadows deepened. At the edge of my vision, something crawled across the trees, moving upside down with impossible speed. The spirits stepped closer. A cold hand brushed my cheek, and every memory I had, childhood, heartbreak, losing my grandmother, flashed through my mind like pages of a burning book. They showed me their memories too, settlers disturbing burial grounds, miners digging too deep, loggers cutting sacred groves. They showed me their revenge, storms that came without warning, hikers vanishing without a trace, fires that burned only specific cabins while sparing others. And then they showed me my grandmother. She stood among them, not dead, not alive, something in between. She placed her hand on my shoulder, warm like the oak tree earlier. Claire, you are blood of the mountain. It won't harm you if you listen. I sobbed, collapsing to my knees. The spirits surrounded me, but they didn't attack. They shared. The visions hit like tidal waves. The birth of the mountain, ancient people worshipping at the stone circle, spirits rising from the earth like smoke when the land was disturbed. When the visions ended, I found myself alone again in the forest, lying on the cold ground, the fog beginning to retreat. Dawn cracked through the trees. My clothes were soaked. My hands were stained with dirt and ash. The trail behind me looked untouched, as if nothing had happened. But something had changed, because now I could hear them. Every night since, I hear footsteps outside my window. I hear whispers in the attic, rustling behind the walls. They don't threaten me, not like before. They watch. They wait. They remind me of the agreement they made. I am to protect their land, keep people away from the stone circle, warn anyone who tries to disturb the forest. 2 hikers disappeared last month. I don't know what they were doing near the ridge, but I know the spirits were watching. I dream about them almost every night, their long white forms moving through the trees, their faces glowing in the dark. Sometimes I dream of my grandmother, too. She always says the same thing. The mountain remembers. And now, so do you. And the worst part? Sometimes when I look into the woods, I see glowing blue eyes looking back, and they are closer than before.